everyone, and welcome back to another season of the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, Season 5, Episode 47, Reflecting on the Journey. I look back at 4 inspirational years. So, we're back all together again. We have Deneen Tomlin, Casey Gavinchuk, Kelly Melanson, and myself, Regina Ruiz Ordonez. So, we have a very different episode to start the season 5. Some changes from what you could probably tell right now. We have a little bit of a color change. We have some characters up for yourselves. But yeah, so we'll get started. We'll talk about some of the changes that you're going to be seeing from us for this coming season and moving forward as well. And then we're going to look back at our 4 past years of the She Shoots. So let me bring in my co-hosts in here so they can help me explain what's happening. So I guess just to rip off the band-aid, we'll just mention it. So the She Shoots has split off from the CUSF. We've gone our own way. It was amicable, we're all good, but it was time for us. We've had 4 good years with them, but we want to experience new things, grow in a different direction, and be our own entity to bring new content for you guys. So Kelly, Deneen, what's your input on our changes that we're bringing?
Thanks, Regina. Excited. Can't believe we're in year 5. I'm so excited to see what Casey has put together to share with everyone as far as our highlights, lowlights, and bloopers. It's been an honor spending 4 years with you guys, doing an amazing job of showcasing women in the shooting sports and the shooting sports themselves. So I'm excited about this pivot. It's going to allow us more flexibility. It's going to allow us to explore new topics and areas. And like you said, we've got new caricatures that Casey brought them to life, whatever it is. So it's exciting. It's really exciting. Kelly, how about you?
Yeah, I echo your comments. I think it's going to be a great season for us. Season 5. Hard to believe it's been 4 years previously, and we're going into our 5th season. We've had some really amazing guests previously, stellar, top notch. And Casey did some really hard work over the past couple of weeks of putting together tonight's show. So we'll comment. I haven't seen it, so
no,
we're all going to comment on it as we go through. So it'll be great for everybody to join us. But these are some of the highlights, some of the amazing guests, top notch, as I said, and then also some of our bloopers too, because there was a lot of those too. In respect to moving forward, I think this is a great opportunity for us. I really did want to thank CUSF or CUSF for all of their support over these past 4 years, and also the springboard that allowed us to actually take this to the next level as well. She Shoots. They've changed considerably over the past 4 years, but so have we. So I think this is actually the right time to do this. And we as a group, again, it's hard to believe we've been together for 4 years doing this. I can't believe it. But we as a group, the 4 of us, I think, are the right people to take She Shoots to the next level as well. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you, but also all of our listeners and commenters and everybody who's participated in our podcast past 4 years. That's it. So I am going to say something. You guys just went into buffer. So guess what? Kelly's back. This is normal for me.
Okay. So I also want to kind of, Casey, since you were doing so much in the background, where can people find us now?
Welcome back.
We're going all over the place. So we have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and Instagram page that's all now branded She Shoots. We could not get it all connected in time for tonight, so we are still on the Lady Guns Facebook and YouTube for today. But going forward, I think we can try and get everything migrated over to our own channel and then upload later on to the other ones. So that's what's going on.
Exciting times. I was thinking about it earlier today, ladies, and we have had world champions, we've had Olympians, we've had world record holders. We have enjoyed some amazing women of all ages from all backgrounds that shoot for fun, for competition. We've had moms and dads, law enforcement, military. I mean, we've really run the gamut. And what's that?
We've had the Alberta CFO,
right? You know that, and absolutely, we've really had we've had the Canadian gun lobby through CCFR. We've had the Gunny Girls. It's just been such a pleasure to see all these people. And the one thing I was thinking about today, reflecting for tonight, is the common theme, aside from shooting guns and enjoying the outdoors, is the good people of the firearms industry and the shooting industry. It doesn't seem to matter if they're shooting pistols, shotguns, rifles, in the background, on the line. Everybody really is out there encouraging others to get out and get involved, and women and youth included. So across our 4 years, the common theme is just get out and do it, and everybody is welcome. So that was kind of my reflection of the 4 years for tonight.
Yeah.
And through my many clips watching and going through all of our past videos, the common theme across the whole thing is the community.
Yeah.
The community is just amazing. It is so supportive. You'll never find another community quite like this one. So we are very, very lucky to get the opportunity to be in this community with all of you.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep.
Well, Casey, what have you got in store for us tonight?
Well, I'll just jump right into it. I haven't done a ton of there's no intro and or outro, so it's just kind of going to pop right up here. So
all right, well, put us off to the side so we can laugh at each other or ourselves, and let's see what 4 years of She Shoots looks like in small bites.
So tell us about the CCFR. Why is it really important? Why specifically? We have part of the CCFR. We're the only advocacy group that has a women's division as well. So why is that important as well?
Well, the CCFR is important, first of all, because, of course, if we want to preserve and maintain our sport and our community for future generations, we can't sit idly by and let an unfriendly government use us for political fodder, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why the CCFR is important. But at the same time, the women's program is integral to the success and preservation of our sport and our community. And I'll tell you why. Because, you know, I've been to hundreds of ladies' days all across the country, and there is absolutely nothing like the feeling of introducing new women to the sport. You get all these soccer moms and people who otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. Yeah. Maybe their only exposure to firearms is in movies or through violence or through media or Hollywood, and their perception is so completely off because, of course, for 30 years we've hid our sport in the closet and told to stay quiet about it. Mm-hmm. So I think that has been a failed experiment, and that's why we find ourselves where we are today, fighting to save it. And the future of the sport is dependent on women who vote and women who, you know, I always say at the end of the day, I don't need everybody that comes to my ladies' days to become gun owners. I mean, that would be great if they would. But what I need them to do is stop supporting bad policy, right? Let's work towards fair and effective policy for firearms owners and credible, tangible work to combat crime and violence. Yeah. So it's twofold for me. When they talk about the evil gun lobby, I'm not just out here trying to save my AR. Now, I am absolutely trying to save my AR. But at the same time, I don't want billions of our tax dollars and all the focus and resources to go towards fighting people that aren't committing the violence while we turn a blind eye to the crime that we see all across the country.
I shoot both non-restricted and restricted. I basically came into this, I was always interested in firearms. I shot a little bit on and off in the States with a couple of friends a few times. Obviously, it was one of those things that, just lit the fire, if you want to call it that. And then I pursued getting a license here. And I actually just recently made a post about the fact that, for probably the first couple of years, just going through the process, right? Getting licensed, getting into a range specifically when you're talking about, having restricted firearms, right? And needing to be able to shoot them. There's just so many safety courses. There's so many things that you need to go through that it's not like you just do it and, 6 months later, everything's done and you're just, at the range shooting on your own. So I was making the comment that it really wasn't that long ago that I didn't really feel comfortable to, go to the range on my own and just feel like I knew what I needed to do. I knew what I needed to know to be safe, to be able to be there, by myself. I knew what I needed to be able to do to be able to take other friends, introduce other women, to that environment. And one of the ways that that's really changed for me was becoming a CCFR member. And it wasn't even intentional. It kind of happened. And the experiences that those doors have opened, kind of like what Barb talked about, have been, a big part of what's, changed all of that for me.
So I have a question about dry fire and then live fire. I know personally I have a dry fire list of things that I like to go through, and then when I'm running live, the same thing, and I work on through fundamentals and different things. Do you guys have little programs that you use for those practice sessions, and how do you kind of ramp up to go time through those practice sessions?
Well, for me, I focus on the things that I'm really poor at. I focus a lot on the fundamentals, grip, trigger control, something as simple as doing transitions from one target to the next. Like those simple things that you can do at home in dry fire, I tend to focus a lot on. For a live fire, for me, I try to focus on the things that I either hate doing or I suck at doing, which go hand in hand because I hate them because I suck at them. One-handed shooting, strong hand, weak hand, especially weak hands, swingers, any type of moving targets, steel targets, distance targets. So I really try to focus on the things that I suck at and the things that I hate, so that way I can advance those skills to something that's better. Movement for me is something that I'm gonna really focus on this year. I am a relatively accurate shooter, but I'm so slow. I am that alpha hunter, so it slows me down. So I need to work on my trigger control, and I also need to work on my movement. So that is going to be my focus primarily this season.
So train with a purpose.
You betcha.
Mm-hmm. That's what I encourage as well. And I like the fact that you said the stuff that you suck at is what you really need to actually work on. Because people ask me all the time saying, what should I work on? And my question to them is, what didn't you like? Well, I didn't like this. Well, why didn't you like it? Because I sucked at it. Exactly. So that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Unless you want to have a feel-good practice, then just do everything you're really good at.
And you know what? Every once in a while, we do have to have a feel-good anyways. What about you, Laura?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very similar concepts, right? So a good learning moment for me, and I'll say my husband Devin, is so strong hand weekend, right? Those are things that we like to avoid. Nobody wants them in a match. However, though, right, when you think about it, so we're going to be MDs for a June match in BTSA, so we're kind of, right, you're thinking of the big picture, and so, right, some of those things might be there, and you're kind of like, okay, if I don't like it, I don't like it because maybe I'm not great. I need to get better. So I really focused for a couple weeks in dry fire on strong hand weekend, because when I had done it before in live fire, I was like, that is not good. Like that was not good. So I knew I needed to work on it. So I did that for a couple weeks, and then we went out to BTSA. And so we had this stage set up, some full sill, IPSC targets, popper, and then one with the no shoot, a little bit of alpha showing. And my husband is like, we are not doing that strong hand weekend. I'm like, yes, we are. So we'd already done it. And then, so here we go. So right hand. And he's like, well, I'm like, that was pretty good. Like, I felt proud of myself. And he's like, okay, well, we can't do it weekend. And I'm like, yes, we can. So do it. And then he did it. And he's like, okay, that wasn't so bad. He goes, but I felt like I did a little bit better than him. So that was that aha moment for me and for him, saying, I said, I put in the work. I did dry firing. I put in the work and I kicked your butt. Okay, I might have said that right. I'm trying to tame it down a bit, but I totally
It's okay. It's recorded forevermore, Laura, just so you know.
Thank you. He can
kick his butt. That's right. Send him
but yeah,
YouTube.
So totally. But that I love that concept, because that is so true. If we do want to shy away from things, then I do like to go for them. If I'm scared of it, let's do it.
Let's talk.
Oh, that's good. So far, here's my takeaway. Gun lobby still actively pursuing the logical choice,
Right.
and what Tracy said, she's still saying. So
4 years later,
Changed.
nothing's changed there.
Yeah.
We all have gotten younger in the last 4 years. I think we look better now, and practice what you hate. Those are my takeaways so far.
Yeah.
Love this, Tracy. Love this.
Yeah.
So about some of those obstacles.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, Tracy Wilson is probably the person that we've had on the most. Things haven't changed, as Deneen has indicated. But what I look and see is how much we've grown over the 4 years with our podcasting and even our equipment too. I'm still wearing the same damn hats, so
Hats are just classic. You can't really get rid of them.
yeah.
They're just Kelly.
Yeah. All right, let's start with season 1, episode 9. Oh, we had a good guess.
Oh, this was a good one.
We did.
Yeah.
This was a good one.
All right, obstacles and challenges that you found being a female, somebody from an urban community, as well as somebody who is just trying to overcome some of those challenges that you see and getting into your career path.
Yeah, in the career path, I'd say there were three main obstacles, certainly urban, female, and young. So I came to my role as director of forest, fish, and wildlife when I was sort of mid-30s. Everybody that worked with me, for the most part, was 50s or above. I very quickly got used to being the youngest one at the table and the only female at the table. I shouldn't say got used to, I never got used to it. I became accustomed to sometimes being dismissed or not taken too seriously.
Okay.
And it was really just a matter of proving yourself. And, there's the old saying, and not to be too biased, I guess, but sometimes a woman needs to be twice as good to be considered half as good as a guy.
Yeah.
Early in my career, I saw that, but kind of after having some successes and proving myself, I think that disappeared. And, I was certainly lucky to be welcomed into the many rooms that I was.
Okay. So what are some other positions that you've held? You've held other positions within your industry prior to the one that you currently have. So do you want to tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, I'd say the two biggest ones is I was executive director of our provincial land trust called Island Nature Trust for about 8 years. And that was a job that I really enjoyed and really making a lasting and meaningful contribution to conservation in the province. I was also director of the PEI Wildlife Federation for quite some time, and in fact was their first woman president as well back in the 1990s. So, that was they still are a fantastic group dedicated to conservation and doing some great work on the ground. So again, all of these things kind of shaped my experience, kind of helped me develop into the role that I have now.
So if we segue then between the balance of conservation and economic development and flora and fauna and habitat, what's the relationship between that conservation and the hunting community? And how do we work together to build on what conservation is and should be?
I love that question because there's such a direct link between conservation and hunting, both historically and today. What I tell people that may not understand hunting or may be opposed to it is the very fact that we have the conservation laws that we do today and the protected areas and the national parks, that all has its roots in hunters lobbying for those things. So we wouldn't have those without the hunting community historically. Hunters as a group are the largest contributors to conservation, both directly in license fees and conservation funds, but also through contributions. I was at the Delta Waterfowl fundraising dinner a couple of weeks ago, and it's just great to see everybody coming together to support those causes. I think a couple of other things that often the public misses is the important roles that hunters and trappers and anglers play, both in being the eyes and ears in the field. So kind of an early warning system. Mm-hmm. If something is going wrong with our habitats and our populations, these are the first people to see that. And lastly, is the important service they play in controlling populations. And, I often think, and I'll pull an example from kind of my trapping background as well, but the jurisdictions that have prohibited recreational trapping, that doesn't mean they've gotten rid of trapping altogether. It just means that now the taxpayers pay for it because the service still needs to be there. And hunters play that same role. So, we have an early goose, or we call it the early goose season, but we've got a resident Canada goose season in PEI now, to help prevent resident geese from overpopulating and being problems that we've seen elsewhere. So, that's an important role that hunters are not only voluntarily providing, they're paying for the privilege of providing that service. Yeah, so it's a huge and very direct benefit.
So I'm curious on the why, Kate. Why are women going out and hunting more than ever before? Why are they telling you that they want to find a mentor and bring some food into their game bag?
I see it as two things. The first one, and I think the biggest driver, is kind of that food security end of things. So, I mean, it's no secret that inflation is crazy these days. Food prices are high. You may have a family to feed. There's a growing interest in sort of healthy, organic, free-range food, and that's hunting to a T, right? So it kind of checks those boxes that I think a lot of the sector segment is interested in. And it's also the novelty and just trying something new. It's like, hey, I haven't tried this before. Maybe I'll like it. Let's give it a shot. No pun intended. So it's right. I think it's those two things that drive it.
Well, and if we're reducing or removing the barriers that women can do this too, and all they have to do is get out and give it a try, and that there's a bunch of us that are willing to help them, I think that will bring more and more women. And although we have increased inflation, we unfortunately have the cost of increased ammunition. So everybody's better get out and target shoot a little bit before they go out and try and harvest something. So
true enough.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are more recommendations that you might come up with, Kate, for getting women out and getting them involved? We've talked about the different associations. We've talked about sport shooting. We've talked about groups like your women's group. What are other ways that women can get out into hunting and foraging and shooting and just really connecting with nature and the conservation side so that they can appreciate and understand this whole ecosystem?
Yeah, and the nice thing about all of these things is the first step. I mean, you can spend as much or as little on these things as you want, right? So really the first step is just getting out, exploring the world that's around you. Here on PEI, we've got about 90% privately owned land. So it's not a matter of just walking out and exploring anywhere. But finding out we've got the Crown Land Atlas online, finding out where some government land is, going out and walking trails, listening, being quiet in nature. So going out and, not necessarily taking your 6 best gal friends with you and chatting the whole time. There's time and place for that. But going out and just spending some quiet time alone if you can, and observing and listening and learning and smelling and using all your senses. And then kind of building on that learning as you go. It's always helpful to find a mentor, but it's not always essential. There's a lot of online resources, there's print resources that can help you kind of get into these things. And once you get your foot in the door, then there's a whole world that's going to be open to you. And you can go down the rabbit hole as far as you want and in as many different directions as you want.
That journey, we have to have joy in the stuff that we do.
Sorry, my hotkey didn't work.
That's okay.
I mean, Kate was definitely one of my favorite guests that we've had. I love her background. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with so many people, when they finally clicks for them, the realization that hunters are one of the biggest reasons why we have conservation of animals, that's how, when it starts clicking, they start accepting and learning about what it is more than just like going out and hunting an animal, right? Like there's just so much more to it. So I definitely really liked her episode. It was a really good.
Yeah, it was so hard trying to go through all that whole episode. I was just riveted the whole time because I'm like, how am I going to pick good like clips without making it, you know, the whole show?
It's like just put her whole episode out again.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I as much as I thoroughly enjoyed that episode and so many, I've not gone back and watched any of them.
You should.
I know I absolutely should, and so should anybody else that hasn't done it, because we've got some amazing people that say things that are so helpful and educational, and this particular lady coming up in season 2, episode 16. Speaking of fantastic content, another hugely popular episode.
But
so
before we get
lucky to have Chloe in twice too, so
Before we get to Chloe, can I talk a little bit about Kate? And it's not necessarily about Kate. We asked her to come on because she's an amazing lady, one, but two, we talked about the different types of guests that we would like to have, and she was forefront specific to conservation, the relationship between hunting and the environment. But the reason that we wanted to talk about that is because the misconception, right? Hunters are out there, they're destroying property, there's just out to kill animals. We wanted to talk about sustainability and how much of an impact that people who are part of the shooting community, the hunters, are exactly the reason why there is a flourishing flora and fauna here in Canada. So we want, and when we started She Shoots, it was for introducing women who were part of the Canadian University Shooting Federation or part of that age, right? And wanting to inform and also make some impact on them too. And I think Kate did a great job of changing some minds to the people that were listening and are forever listening, because again, it goes in perpetuity, right? YouTube will be around, or any of the videos will be around. So she did a really, really good job of it. But I think that we made an excellent choice when we wanted to talk about conservation, sustainability, hunters here in Canada and also throughout the world.
I agree, and I think maybe exploring that into the future and the new generation of She Shoots. I think there's a lot of conservation groups that have so much to say that can help educate the She Shoots family and listeners as to what we do collectively to make habitat better, make the animals more plentiful, make the environment safer, etc. I agree.
Yeah. So the other thing is, she was talking about inflation, and this was 3 years ago,
right?
It's just gone even worse.
Let me clearly just tell you, it's gotten worse. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm gonna leave it at that. But season 2, episode 16, Chloe Gagnon, she was fantastic. Let's hear what she has to say. And
100%.
If we don't enjoy it, then that's also going to affect our performance, is it not?
100%. Oh, 100%. Of course. Yes. So I know sometimes we may have this, when we say this, of just enjoy the journey and have fun, it almost seems like, okay, like seeing everything so positively and pink and everything's good and easy. And that's not what we're saying. But it's also just knowing that by thinking this way, by having those preferred perspective of the just growth or positiveness or gratefulness, we're actually going to perform better. So it's not only to just say this so that we feel better, which is awesome, of course, but it also is based on research going to help you perform better as well. And so, of course, if you are focusing on the outcome, that only leads.
Oh, why don't we talk a little bit about C2?
Sorry. Pressure. Sometimes also frustration from lack of results, right? So if your goal is to, in 2 years, 3 years, being able to do this, of course, you're not going to see a big difference tomorrow, and probably not the day after that, and maybe not in a week either, right? But then if you're only thinking about where you want to be in a month or 3 months or 2 years, you may get frustrated with that. Whereas if I'm enjoying what I'm doing every day, I kind of don't mind not seeing results every day, right? It also can affect motivation, of course. If I'm only thinking about results, then what happens if I don't? Like if I don't win, if I don't get the medal, if I don't see improvement, am I then done with my sport? Is that really how we want to approach it, right? And so it's just, and sometimes also decreased confidence if you're always just thinking of the outcome and winning or getting better or being the best. There will be times where you will not win. There will be times where you will not be the best. Does that then mean that you're no good at shooting, that you should quit, and that you will never reach your goals? No, of course not. But then if we're only thinking of outcomes, if we're only saying or seeing our sport as just either success or failure, then we will not be able to perform at our best. We will also not be, of course, enjoying the journey, but also in a lot of cases, we see then athletes completely quit. They stop participating in their sport. And of course, we're talking high performance and medals, and that's great. But at the end of the day, the goal is to be able to compete and even sometimes just practice your sport for as long as possible, right? And so we want to find ways to do so. And so you need to find ways to enjoy what you're doing. And it does not go without saying that there will be days though where you do not maybe want to train, or there will be days where you're maybe not the biggest fan of your sport or not as passionate, and that's okay. But we just mean just overall, there should be a lot more days where you're really enjoying what you're doing than not. And that will ultimately contribute to performance. Whereas if you're only thinking, and if you're looking at the journey, the process, and you're enjoying it, then regardless of the outcome, you can always look back at an amazing ride that you had trying to reach that goal and knowing that you can learn from it. Whereas if you only look at kind of that end picture, then not only are you not enjoying the ride there, but also what if you don't get it, right? You're not going to be able to, you're going to look at that experience as just a whole thing that was just negative when of course it wasn't, right? And so finding the positives and the joys every day and focusing on the process will actually help you get to your end goal, but also making it a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I screwed that one up.
Well, one of the things,
it's all good.
One of the things that's consistent over 4 years is technical glitches. So, you know, that we're across the country. We've got a variety of technologies at our fingertips, and there still is always an outage, a blooper, and a child running through the room, a dog jumping on your desk. There's always something.
Yeah, clicking on something that I wasn't supposed to. Or
it's okay. This will probably become one of our bloopers next time.
Right?
No, it's good. But I mean, yeah, just touching on Chloe, like her episode was so good that like I remember all of us after her episode were like, we have to have her back. Like I don't really know what I want her to talk about, but we just want to have her back. She's able to articulate so well, and it's sure like her background is not even necessarily like in like she doesn't really shoot herself, but it's just how she can help the mental game of her athletes so that they can like get to the point where it's just like center on yourself and like be the best you can, but also like understand that not every day is going to be a good day, but it's learning to get past those days. So she was awesome. I loved her. Love her second episode as well.
And how important the mental game was to high caliber shooters and even just normal shooters. It's such a big part of the game. Nobody really thinks about.
Yeah. Not taking yourself out of the game before you actually get into it, because a lot of new shooters are like, well, I'm never gonna get there. Like they're so much better than I am. Like, why would I even like be able to compete with them? It's just like, no, like you can get there. You just need to stay in the game and continue to practice.
Valid point.
Yeah. I really liked how she talked about it wasn't all about the competition. A lot of the mental game is about your life as a whole, right? In the different areas and learning to manage that.
And staying present in the moment.
And staying present in the moment. And
I think that's why it was such a popular episode for us and for a bunch of our viewers. We had a lot of really high caliber viewers watching it, a lot of very high level competitive shooters looking for that kernel, that piece of information to help them. And we got some really good feedback on that episode. So I think you're right. It spanned across shooting sports and into everything in life that is a challenge.
One of the other things that I got from her, and I got it from a lot of our guests, but the excitement and the it is excitement about what they do, the passion in what they do.
Yeah.
Chloe was, you could see her, she was talking with her, she was French, but she was talking with her hands. And I think it was an hour and a half in, and normally our episodes are an hour long.
Yeah.
And hers was a longer one. And the reason is because she had so much she wanted to talk about. And it felt like it was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And everything that she talked about, again, it wasn't just about shooting, it was your life as a whole, right? Being able to manage it. She was giving tips. It was one of our highest listened to as well as viewed podcasts. So I really liked Chloe, and I really liked the fact that we made the decision to bring her on again.
Right. Agreed.
When the Olympics came around.
Clearly, life skills and shooting go together. And again, maybe something we should be exploring going forward. But to Chloe's point, the fact that we're looking back tonight and we're looking over what we did, it's not just about the next show. We're actually honoring and recognizing everything we've done as a group and the beautiful guests that we've have done as individuals in the last 4 years. So Chloe said it best. It's not always about looking forward. Sometimes you got to appreciate where you've come from. So I like that.
Yeah. So our next one was, I kind of spoiled the but when we had Ian Runkle.
The Ian Runkle
one. Oh, his was a really good episode too. I remember it got a lot of views too. Yeah. A lot of conversation flowing.
All right, let's see what he has to say. Are you ready, Casey? Oh, why don't we talk a little bit about C21? What exactly is it? Because that's one of the main reasons why you're on tonight. So for those that don't know what it is or have been living under a rock for the last year, why don't you give us a little bit of information about what exactly is C21?
So C21 is the Liberals' ever-expanding gun bill. Every time they sort of figure out something new they want to add to it, they throw it in there. So it's got all sorts of different things in there that, it started out sort of focusing on reworking licensing and putting in red flag laws, which are basically going to be swatting laws, but that's another sort of whole thing there. And now they've added in, they want to put in all sorts of other restrictions. They put in what they call an assault rifle ban, but it's really just a ban on the guns everyone uses. So, it's basically a sporting rifle ban. So that's going to be very, very bad for the gun community.
So we also talked about the impact on historical guns, like one of the popular models, the Lee Enfield. So we should probably touch on that for anybody that's a collector or a fan of those kind of guns. How is this going to affect them, Ian?
Well, the Lee Enfield has a 10-round magazine. And so, the Lee Enfield was sort of exempted from previous magazine limits on a couple of reasons, but it's but this is going to mean that people are going to have to take these valuable antiques and start chopping them up in ways that will destroy their historical or antique value. And the Lee Enfield is it's a classic Canadian rifle. It was used by sort of British and Canadian and various other militaries. And because of that, it's actually doubly accepted from the magazine rules, believe it or not, because the magazine rules note that it's for a semi-automatic firearm other than a semi-automatic handgun. So they were not, the Lee Enfield was not included in the magazine limits because it was a semi-auto. But then it also limited any magazine that was for the Lee Enfield rifle specifically. So like the original Lee Enfield mags were entirely allowed. There's a bunch of others that are sort of classic Canadian rifles or classic Canadian firearms where they exempted them from the magazine limits. So for instance, if you look at the Lewis Mark I machine gun, if you have an original drum mag, that's excluded from the from the magazine capacity limits. This is, of course, not a safety problem because I don't know of any shooting in Canada ever that has been done with a Lewis. Nobody's robbing a liquor store with a Lewis Mark I machine gun.
Yeah.
And here we are. Still talking
talking about C21. See how things haven't really changed in 4 years at all?
No, it's just never ending.
Totally related. I think I have a drinking problem because I keep seeing myself drinking in all of these episodes, and here I am again. So I clearly have a drinking problem.
I haven't been, so I should be. So congrats to Ian Runkle, by the way. He has over 330,000 subscribers subscribers on YouTube. So he is somebody that I keep saying we should have him on again. We should have this person on again. But Ian is, if you have questions about gun laws or culture here in Canada, he's very happy to share. And he's also a really personable guy as well. So his episode was quite informative. Yes. And it was Ian. I was a great guy.
Incredibly popular, and he's consistent, and he's a bit of a mainstay in the conversation in Canada along
I was just looking up. He's live, by the way, but if anybody is watching, don't go and watch, don't drop us and go and watch him. You can catch him
stay with us, don't leave us yet.
Yeah. We need the viewership here. So, but no, he's a friend, but he's also somebody who, if you have questions, he's open to answering them. Anything that's legal or anything that's an opinion wise. And if you have a question about legislation as well, because he studies it. So go and ask him. Yeah. C21. Gosh, we're still talking about it.
All right, moving on. Let's hope this works.
So maybe we should cover what mounted shooting is, as people are picturing the horse and the rider and the chinks and the chaps and the period costume. Maybe we should talk about what is mounted shooting and how, what's the origins of it, Gail?
Well, it started in the mid-90s in Arizona, and I believe it was some cowboy action, the SAS shooters down there started doing it. Okay. And so they came up with this sport, and in order to make it safe for the public, they came up with a way of using black powder ammunition that would break a balloon at about a maximum of 20 feet. So it's safe for everybody, spectators, horses. So they came up with that, and it came up to Canada. I think it started in about 2007, and it grew fairly quickly the first few years. And basically what it is, the short answer, I guess, it's a timed event where you shoot balloon targets off the back of your horse at a run. So that's the short answer. There's a whole bunch of rules involved in it. Okay. There's penalties, there's 84 different patterns, and there's 2 revolvers, and they're 45 caliber, sort of single action, period correct, 1880s. We call them Colt clones. There's a few different makers. Of course, there's Colts. Lee has Colts. I have Rugers. Some people have Ubertis, Taylors. There's a few makes. And we usually go get them action jobs put on them to lighten the hammers up and just make them easier to use. Some people lower the hammers, put a wider hammer. I didn't. I kept the Colt style hammer on mine, but so that's basically it. You go out there, you shoot 5 targets, you holster, grab your other gun and shoot 5 more, and do it as fast as you can and hit all your targets.
And as accurately as possible. That's how you're scored.
So you draw from a holster while you're mounted and on the run?
This is a sport that I need to try before I die. Because horses and guns, what else?
Right? Sold. Sold.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Rahina, and I think that maybe the ladies of She Shoots should go on an epic journey, trying out all of the things that we have interviewed people from that we haven't done yet.
That sounds like a.
Does anybody have a horse?
I would be so down.
Sorry, right? What's that, Casey?
Does anyone have a horse we can borrow?
I know.
We keep saying it too. We keep saying, "Oh, that sounds so exciting. We should do this." Oh, that sounds so exciting.
We do know Gail.
We do know Gail.
We do know Gail.
That's the other thing. All of these women are now part of our circle, and I know that if I went to, I don't know, maybe Alberta, I know that I can stop in at Denine's place. I know where she lives.
Yeah, I mean, you can just crash there. You don't even need to book a hotel to stay at.
Well, thanks for Denine's going. Thanks for inviting everyone to my place.
Right.
But Gail or anybody else that we have had on the show, I know that now that we've had the opportunity to talk with them, they've all extended invites to us as well. So we have some really, really good friends across this country as well as down in the US where we could really spend some great time doing things like mounted shooting. It's something I haven't done yet.
She Shoots goes on the road, season 6.
Right? Bingo card. Mounted shooting, check.
Right?
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of
Whoever's
fun.
listening or watching, if you would be interested in that, please comment it. Might be season 6.
Might be
season 6. We just get into season 5.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We have to. We have to get.
Yeah, we gotta use Planet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, why can't we do it this season and podcast while we're doing it?
Why the hell not?
We got a whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm done school in April, so I'll be free then. Just give me till April.
Okay. What's next?
All right. Next.
So you are the president of the Castlegar Pistol Club, and you're a match director, but you're also actually the founder and director of the West Kootenay Ladies Shooting Group, and that's kind of what we want to talk about tonight. Not kind of, it is exactly. One of the reasons is because if people who follow you on Facebook as well as Instagram, they'll see that you have all kinds of really fun things that you do there. The West Kootenay Ladies Shooting Group it's a large group, and you guys are so active in the community, but all the fun things that you do, it's really exciting. Do you want to tell us about some of the really fun shoots that you've been able to organize in the past couple of years?
So the way that the West Kootenay Ladies Shooting Group works is it's the same as any other not-for-profit. We have a wonderful board of ladies who sit on and help volunteer and organize everything. So it's not just me. I'm just the pretty face most of the time, but the ladies do a lot of the grunt work, and it's amazing. We have classes, events, and shoots. The large events are basically our fun ones. And so we have the Gun Bunny match that's usually in April, and it's obviously Easter themed. We have to do it. All of our range safety wear Easter bunny ears, and we have an Easter egg hunt for the youth that come out with us. And then we have the match that goes on. We always have prizes and then a lunch, and it's just a really great time to get out. Then we have the Ghouls event in October, where we have the families dress up in costumes. We have best costume contests. And then, of course, we shoot zombies and, all the gross things. And again, prizes and the lunch. And we also last year had a live performance from 3 of our members who brought their musical instruments. So while they were waiting to go on the line, they were entertaining everybody else. And that was a lot of fun. The most popular one, I would say, though, is the Girls, Gowns, and Crowns.
Yeah.
Which gained a ton of social media attention. That one I started 3 years ago. And originally that one actually had nothing to do with the ladies club. It was my business anniversary. And I thought, you know what, I want to do something different. I have these dresses in my closet that I never get to wear. They're just sitting there. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to wear a dress to the range and have a little bit of a party kind of thing. And I had invited the ladies club to come out and join me. I brought all of my firearms, and I said, and if you want to bring your own, please do. But the rules are you have to dress up, whatever you're comfortable in, as long as it's black tie. And I'm going to be wearing a crown. And if you want to wear a crown, great. And it had garnered so much attention, and so many other ladies were like, this is really fun. I want to do this. So then it became an annual thing. And so now it's just called Girls, Gowns, and Crowns. And the West Kootenay Ladies Shooting Group took it over. So now we plan it. And it's every, I think, July. I think it's like the second weekend in July. And we borrow all the prom dresses from the grad that just passed. We slap on some crowns. Partners can come as long as they're black tie. It doesn't really matter. And we just go out and have a blast and then go out to dinner after.
She's awesome. Amber's
well,
amazing.
Full stop. Yeah, absolutely. Amber is amazing. She was coming to us live from her candy store in that particular episode, which was new at the time. So, but oh my gosh,
she's such a busy lady. 3
totally.
businesses. She's the president of the West Kootenay. She is the founder and the president of the women's group there. Totally busy woman.
I remember seeing the media coverage on the Girls, Gowns, and Crowns before I had originally met her. And it was so captivating to see all of these women in full formal with a variety of guns in their hands at a gravel pit at a gun range. And I just thought, those are my kind of people. I love it. I just love the ability to just have fun. And that's what Amber and her crew seems to do. And I love the stories that come out of her group.
Yeah. So. They're some of the most invested women in shooting. They give back to the community in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
All right. And
the next one.
When did you start trap shooting? When did you start shooting, actually?
Yeah.
This is actually quite a funny story. When I started shooting, I started 10 years ago, 2015, shortly after Father's Day. A friend of mine who shoots, another lady shooter, she dared me. She knew I was afraid of guns, so she dared me to come and shoot. She was afraid of ice. I'm a curler. That's what I actually was before I started shooting. And she said to me, if you come shooting, I'll go curling. So I took her up on the dare. I said, sure, why not? You're not ever coming shoot or curling. I'll never see her there. Well, she showed up twice.
Oh my gosh.
Twice.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
I had to do good, so I showed up on volunteer appreciation night to go and shoot. And obviously my husband was there prior to me shooting. So he helped me. But when I walked up to the line and he was waiting for me with a gun, I was breathing hard. Like I was really scared. Like I'm short of hyperventilating. And he gives me a little spiel and gives me the gun. And he goes, okay, shoot. And he's laughing at me because I go, pull, bang. And he goes, okay, you need to see the target first before you pull the trigger. So after that, I shot my first 25 shells, not shot targets, but I shot at 25 targets. And I basically gave him the gun back and sat down and, almost puked my guts out for that. I was so scared. I was literally so scared. That was a Sunday, and I thought, this is crazy. You've done it once. You've held a gun. Go do it again. So I did. I went out and I shot 7 my next round. And like I said, that was all on a Sunday. I went out league night on the following Tuesday. I went out on league night the following Thursday. And I was in my first competitive shoot that following Saturday.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's quite the trajectory.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing about your fear and overcoming it, because so many women are afraid of pressing a trigger and recoil and shotguns. So that's amazing that you can go from so fearful and hyperventilating to competing within 2 weeks. So Good for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, okay, you talked about some of your favorite places to shoot, but what's one of your most favorite memories of a shoot that you've gone to, or one of the most, whether it's a championship or maybe
the
it's
Lynn
actually
Smith highlight reel.
Yeah.
In actuality, the accolades are great, but the memories I have, I guess, after a provincial shoot, and everyone hits the wine or the beer or whatever, and I was sitting with a fellow lady shooter, and we're having a couple of wobbly pops there, and she's hugging me, and she's like, "I like you." She goes, "But one of these days, I am going to kick your ass." And I said to her, I welcome the challenge. Like, this is great, And then this year, unfortunately, I was unsuccessful in getting the Alberta title this year, and it went to a very wonderful lady. And at the end, she beat me, and she wanted a picture with me. It was an iconic picture, I guess, in the sense that I'm handing over the reins to her, and the fact that she thought that was great, it humbled me. It touched me, right? I absolutely did that. And a fellow person said, "Why did you do that? Weren't you mad?" And I'm like, you know what? Like my husband says, if you don't like it, shoot better.
Oh my gosh, she was so much fun.
She was. If you don't like it, better.
I had to leave that full because it's so nice to have somebody who she's so open about how scared she was.
Yeah.
Within weeks of starting, she was competing.
Yeah.
And she went from there. I mean, sky's the limit.
And she's a multi-time champion. And that's amazing. And the funny thing about her, I met her on a plane. You never know when you're going to meet your next guest for your podcast.
You've met a couple on the plane. Yeah. She talked about it, right? As I said in the clip, the trajectory. But that's consistent with all the guests we've had. Once they try out shooting, they get heavily involved. That's consistent with us. Just sitting here as well. Once we tried out shooting, we all dug in feet first. It's now one of the funniest things was after that show.
It surely was. Yeah.
Because what was taking place was her husband was in the living room and feeding comments to everybody. And Janine, why don't you talk about what was taking place? Because you heard about it afterwards.
I did hear about it, and I knew you were going to put me on the spot, Kelly, because I can't remember the funny part right now. But I do remember she was on camera, and he was in the living room right across from her, obviously off screen from us. And he was posting comments continuously about things that were going on. And there was a comment he said he was going to make, and I can't remember what it was, but do any of you guys remember what it was?
It was a comment about whether she would be happier if he
beat her,
the 3-time champion, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember his name, or him, her husband.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for remembering. I just recall that there was a little bit of chat via email and text after that with that lovely couple, and the comments were good and funny, and I shared them with you guys. So you never know what you're going to get with a guest. You never know what you're going to get in an airplane as far as somebody that flies with you across the country. So I mean, amazing. And small world, because we do a lot of the same people, right?
Yeah.
So love to that guest. All right.
And the last one is from Team Canada.
Okay. And even though we are competing against each other and with each other, if I'm going to speak out of turn a little. If I was my gun didn't make it, I'm sure Lise would have loaned me her gun and we would have shared it.
Of course.
And vice versa.
I almost had to share your gun at the Canadian Nationals this year.
That's right. And like we're competing against each other, but we would do anything. Well, the match ammo didn't work for some people, so my leftover ammunition went to other competitors that I was competing against. And it's not always about your score, but the camaraderie we have in this sport is just outstanding. It's not like any other sport. It's amazing.
It really is.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It certainly does. And I have found that across a variety of disciplines in the shooting community. It seems like if you fall short, something breaks, you forget to bring something to the range, somebody's
Even
always
your
got
lunch.
your back. Even your lunch.
Like I've given people food, they've given me food. Like this is what you do.
Yeah.
But not your high heels.
No. That's yours.
Not my high
That's
heels.
where I draw the line. That's it right there.
Yeah, you're going barefoot. Sorry.
I can't walk in your heels anyway, so it's not good.
Neither can Mel.
No. Try that once.
We did try that one. Yeah, it was good.
I have a question about, so you were talking about the people that were supporting you and they shipped your ammo ahead of time. How much prep? How far in advance did you have to do all of this?
Oh boy, when did that conversation start? That was a while ago, wasn't it?
It started in February, and then we finally found somebody, I think in March or April, and then I shipped mine in July. I shipped mine to Quebec in July, and then they shipped, what month are we in? They shipped it in August. To South Africa. And then they didn't get it until the Saturday before the match.
Oh.
So it was tight.
That was tight.
So we're going to start planning now for the next handgun world shoot.
Right. That's in 4 years, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, it was a little tight. What about the export permits and everything?
Yeah, that started even earlier. That was like before Christmas. Didn't we all start at least?
And you had to have it in by June 30th. And I was at work at 9 p.m. on June 30th finishing mine, because you have to have your flights booked and you have to have this known and that known, and you needed the import permit for South Africa Police Service, and then we needed the ATT, the Canadian ATT for border crossing, and I needed another one to get mine just to Toronto, and then you needed your export permit or your import permit for Canada to bring your gun back, and it was just too much.
It was a lot.
The country you were transiting through.
Yeah, Dubai. I needed one for Dubai and for the Emirates,
and some people didn't actually have theirs until they arrived, right? Well, Melanie, what happened with you? You arrived and...
Yeah, me and Taylor, neither of us, we never got our permits. And when we arrived, we were like, so we don't have our permits. And they were like, well, I guess we're going to have to take your guns. And
what? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. They were confiscating firearms until the permits were issued. And once permits were issued, they had organizers from the match delivering them to the range.
Okay.
But after going to war in that police office and asking them, just check the system and see if it's there. Yeah. And finally they checked, and they actually had my permit. So they were like, they printed it and they were like, please get out of here. We never want to see your face again.
Good job, Melody. Good job.
But let's also make it known though that it's not, you didn't not have your permit because you didn't apply for it. You applied for it with plenty of time. It wasn't a you problem. It was, well, it ended up being a you problem, but it wasn't because of you.
Yeah, it was. There were hundreds of competitors who their permits never got issued, but everybody applied before the deadline in June or July it was, and they were just really, the police service was really behind on issuing them.
They were slow.
And then, when it came to crunch time, there was like hundreds of competitors from all over the world that had the same issue when they got there. So like Taylor was one of them where they actually did have to confiscate his firearms.
and then they were delivered to the range. I think that Saturday, so like 3 or 4 days later.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
that was a really good
competitors had to go through to be able to compete.
Yeah,
we were super blessed by having a run of shows with Team Canada's from different Team Canada representatives across different disciplines, and those ladies had a lot to share. And I can't imagine being in another country with months and months of planning, all the practice, and then showing up and saying, yeah, and you don't get your firearm, or there's no ammo that works, or whatever. Like,
I think it's a consistent pattern between Melody and Taylor. They also showed up at the Worlds for, they weren't able to bring their guns, so it's them. No,
maybe
it's not them.
It's
not them. But we do see there are challenges, and especially for Canada, our gun laws and all the changes have been significant.
And despite Canada,
we're still doing it.
Laws currently in Canada suppressing the ability for sport shooters to shoot.
Yeah.
They're still finding ways, begging, borrowing, loaning, renting, whatever it takes. And so Canadian shooting athletes are just cut from a different cloth, and they're just willing to go no matter where it is. We've had some wonderful guests, and they weren't all girls. We had some guys on too, right?
Yeah.
And also a great.
We had a prop master and armorer.
We did.
That was a really awesome episode. We had
Couples.
Alberta CFO on for one episode, which we should do again because
we need to.
That was a really good show as well. We had holy brain fart. Tanner. She makes all the animals look nice when they're shot.
Oh, taxidermist. You're saying Tanner. I'm going Tanner. Which
Tanner.
person Tanner did we have on? What was his?
Yeah, I was just like, who's
Tanner?
I think that if we had a list of all of our seasons and all of the episode guests and all of the names that we assigned, we would be shocked, but also very impressed. And I think we should throw that up on our social media page, the list of the 4 years. And it really shows the pedigree of people that have participated in shooting sports and given us a moment of their life to share, or at least an hour, a little bit more than a moment, but to share with us and share their stories. And it would be cool to see it all on one long list. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think I'll re-edit my highlights reel a little bit more, and then maybe we'll put that up on the YouTube page and as just
that'd be great.
That's cool.
Yay, celebrate, because we had to cut some of those out because of the time. It's so hard to cut everything down to just sound bites, right? Because there's so much stuff, so much that it was so awesome. I can't even express how blessed we feel having done this for the last 4 years, and the people that we've gotten to meet and talk to and share their stories. It's just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And so going forward, if I can pivot on this, going forward, we're going to go into some pre-production. We're going to try and do some things offline, bring some content to our viewers pre-recorded, which is going to allow us to get to some people we just can't get on Tuesday nights. We're going to have the opportunity now to look for sponsors and supporters for She Shoots. And so I'm looking forward to that and seeing how this evolves to becoming something even bigger than we had imagined when we started this 4 years ago.
Yeah. So this is our call out for all our listeners that are with us right now or listen to us later. give us your guest suggestions, topic suggestions, any potential sponsors that you think might be interested in sponsoring our podcast, right? If you are a potential sponsor that would like to sponsor the She Shoots podcast, we would love to hear from you. Casey just popped up our new email address. I don't know if Casey, you could pop it up again. You can send us an email at sheshoots.podcast@gmail.com. We're going to have a YouTube channel. Our Facebook page is already live. The Instagram account, if you're ready for following the previous Instagram account, it's the same one. We just rebranded it, so that is just for the She Shoots. So you can reach out to us in all of those different areas. Make sure you follow us so you can get all the up-to-date topics and content and what we're going to be doing moving forward. But yeah, we want to hear from you. We want to actually, and also who from the people that we've already had, who would you like to see coming back for another episode with us, right? As you know, we've been going through this and we've loved every single one of our guests that we've had, and we'd love to have them back, but there's just so many of them and they're all so great. And we just want to continue to meet more people and bring them to you guys as well. So yeah, reach out to us, follow us. Yeah. And what else?
I got something else to throw out there. If because we're across Canada and Casey's down in the US, in the Texas area, if you are doing something, what's that?
I said there's been big life changes.
Right, that's been in 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Regina's in BC. I'm in Alberta. Kelly's in Ontario. If you reach out to us, if you've got something super cool going on and you would like a member of She Shoots to come check it out, participate, ride a horse, just saying.
Hint, hint.
Right. Then give us a shout and let us go. I did have that one opportunity. Do you guys remember when the Guns of the Golden West invited me to host the Calgary Stampede?
In the bathtub in the parade.
I did indeed. I did a running comedy show from a bathtub on a float from the Calgary Stampede Parade. What an honor. And so, I'd love that opportunity for any and all of us to go out and have those experiences in and around your areas. So if there's something cool going on and you want She Shoots to show up, give us a shout.
We'd love to come out.
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and wrap it up, I guess, then.
Sure.
We've gone a little over time, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it was a little bit different. We definitely wanted to honor our past 4 years as a podcast for you guys, and we're just looking forward to this new season and the following seasons because we're here to stay. We love this and we want to continue to be here for you guys and for us as well. Like we've become a little family, the four of us. Okay, so you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
They'll all pop up on the screen at the end.
And they're all under the She Shoots umbrella. So now you can actually search She Shoots and they will be popping up for you. For listening, we're still on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Yeah. So those ones haven't changed. We're still there as well. It's just our other social media pages that change. Other than that, thank you so much for listening to us. We loved having you today. We look forward to the next episode. So we'll see you all next month. It'll be the same time as always, second Tuesday of the month at 5 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. MST, 8 p.m. EST. With that, good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.